Yeah,
Okay.
hold on. Like that?
Yeah, this is just.
Is it falling?
Oh, that make sure to put my arm up. Hi everyone, I'm Sydney.
And I'm Destiny, and we are the founders of Bright & Scent.
And our heart is to help you burn your light bright and send that light where it's needed most. And we do this through our candle and wax mount company,
As well as by creating faith, business, and life content here on YouTube for you all.
Yeah.
So make sure if you're new to the channel or if you're returning but you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit it right now.
Yeah.
Like this video and hit that notification bell so you get notified for when we post videos to our channel.
Okay, so today's video, we just wanted to come and talk about how we funded our business. I think a lot of people have an idea that they want to do, whether it's candle making or whatever it is, and it's just kind of hard figuring out how do I fund it. And I think a lot of people like initially go to like a loan or credit card or something. You know, small business loan is very typical, or sometimes grants are available depending on what you're trying to start. But we wanted to come at a different perspective and just kind of share our story about how we started with trying to just really pitch our idea to people around us in our community and how that's kind of worked out for us thus far.
Essentially, we went with investing.
Yeah.
And so the way that so if you watch Shark Tank or really just any fun business show, most of the time when you are looking for investors, you are going to give up equity. And that was something that we did not want to do.
Yeah. I think it was important, like especially in the early stages, because we have really like big vision for this. And so thinking like we don't want to give away so much in the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, that's something we could think about. But at the beginning, it was really important that like we own this company and we do everything that we can to kind of keep that ownership until maybe we like absolutely have to start sharing that with people or whatever. So,
you know, just to use Shark Tank as an example, when you go there, you know, my company, we were asking for $500,000 for 10%, right? That 10%, you're not just getting the money and they're getting stock, you're getting the shark. And I think that was the thing, like, there was no one really that we could think of at the time that it was like, we're willing to give up all of this equity or just this portion of equity in this to get money and to also get the wisdom of another person. Because we just started. We didn't know who we would need, what we would need, and how to go about getting them. We decided as an exchange for the investment, we would treat it like a loan.
yeah.
So essentially, we did get a loan, but instead of going to a bank, we went to our family and friends.
Make sure you have a good business plan. And one thing that we were even talking about the other day in terms of like social media and marketing and how we're trying to get, you know, kind of more into that this year. Like people really invest in you, you know, like when someone buys from a company or maybe a celebrity starts a company or something, a majority of the people who are purchasing from that business are purchasing something, especially for something like candles, where it's like you can find a candle anywhere. But a lot of companies and a lot of basic products like candles or anything else that you just find in your house, people are buying because of the brand, because of the person behind it, you know, the history,
the mission,
and all that stuff. Our mission being like giving back and that kind of being what we want to do. Even this channel is a way for people to kind of see our brand and kind of us to kind of help build that brand of not just being another candle company, but all of that should be like really in your business plan. Putting a lot of that mission, value system, your plan of action, all that stuff is so important in your business plan, because if you go the route that we went in terms of reaching out to people that we know and kind of sharing this vision with them and hoping that they partner with us with financially, that was really important. So I think that was a huge thing that helped us out, is kind of explaining our goals, our values. And a huge way we got funded is people being like, wow, this is like really put together. Yeah. It's, you know, they're very serious about this. It's not like like you said, like a hobby or something that we really want to grow and expand to even more than just candles. So a lot of stuff that we're learning now, even at the point of scaling, was from that mentorship. So that's a huge, I think those like things that necessarily aren't like super tied to direct being funded, those things really led to us getting off on a really good foot and presenting ourselves really well to our investors.
After we decided that that was how we wanted to do our investing process, was that way we didn't have to give up equity, but the people who invested in us, that invest the money, they got more than just their money back. Because that's what, when you give up the 10%, the idea is that your company will grow and they'll get dividends and things like that. But we didn't want to do that, so we wanted to give them, essentially, we put interest on the investment that they initially did. We created a business plan. We pitched it to Ray, our advisor. He gave us lots of good feedback. We made the changes that he said we should make, added a couple things here and there. And then we made a Zoom. We started our business in the height of COVID. So we did a Zoom, and we reached out to all of our family and friends. I think we each did like 15 people.
Yeah.
It was like she did 15, I did 15. And then we reached out to all of them and we asked them to RSVP to let us know if they were interested. And then if they weren't interested, that was fine. So we had some backup people. The goal was to have 30 people on the call. And then we prepped and got ready to present, and then we divvied up how we were going to present. We set aside an hour, or I think our presentation was like 30 minutes.
We tried to keep it nice and short.
40 minutes. And I mean, we created a 5-year plan, essentially. What their money was going to do over that 5-year period, how they were going to get their money back. If we fail, because not every business is successful. Most businesses fail in the first year. And then the next round of businesses fail within 5 years.
Huge shout out to everyone who has purchased a candle. Yes. We love you guys so much.
We're so grateful.
We're a little over a year. We're trying to keep swimming.
After we discussed the idea, we kind of hit the ground and we were like, all right, let's work on this. We were working on it every week. Don't be upset with how long it takes. And speaking of that, we actually had to push our timeline back, because that just goes to show how ignorant to the process we were, really, because we just didn't know that there was way more thought that was going to have to go into it. Yeah, our round of investing went really well. We gave
them like a timeline.
We gave them a timeline. That way, they didn't just keep us hanging. And if they didn't want to do it, that was totally okay. And so I think about half of the people invested. I think total we had 12 of like 30 that showed up to the call. So that's good. And they invested, and it was enough to start. And we were so grateful. And we had that in February, and then we launched to the public on April 1st.
Yeah. And so after that, like since that day, we haven't done another round of investing. And ever since that, how we've been funding our business continually has been through like our sales. Like we don't make money from our business yet.
Yeah.
And so everything that our kind of thought is like everything that we make should just be reinvested until we get to a point where there's like excess or something. But that's kind of how we do it. So we get our sales in and we use that money to restock, and then anything else will just sit there until we need to use it again. In order to know how much you need for the future, you really need to start tracking. So I would say that probably in the very beginning is to make sure that you're tracking every expense that you have and how much things are costing, because the way that you can really make sure you're funding your business in a wise way, where you're not just kind of like buying things at the spur of whatever, but you really have a schedule of how then you'll know how much you really need month to month and things like that. That's kind of how we've been funding it. And honestly, at the point we're at now, we're just kind of thinking like, do we want to do another round of investing? Do we want to just kind of go conventional with, the typical ways of funding one's business? Because we're trying our best not to. I think hopefully, with you guys, we're able to kind of expand more here, our presence here on YouTube, and we're trying to invest. We're investing like even our own money into certain things and different things that we want to do in terms of marketing. And so I'd say really, something you're passionate about, like you'll find a way.
Yeah.
And if you're passionate about it, like you'll invest even sometimes your own money. I mean, at the beginning when we were just testing a lot of stuff, we just kind of used our own money before we even had investors.
Yeah.
Because we didn't like start after that. So so that's one way you can fund your business, is by your own pocket, by investors. I mean, I even know some people who we didn't like go this route, but I know people who have successfully started their business to the point where like they advertise the product, they get sales, and they use that money to like, so like people have even done that. And then once they start building money from sales, then they start kind of prepping before people buy. Those are different ways of kind of doing that and making sure that you're getting a good start to your business. But yeah, I think that's all we have for this video. Anything else you want to say about funding and...
No, there's lots of different ways to go about it. No way is wrong. There is more risk to other ways, like banks are risky.
Yeah.
So if you can avoid a bank in the beginning,
try your hardest to do it on your own.
I would. But it's hard, making money out here is tough. So
literally yesterday we were somewhere and this guy was like, you make candles? And we were like, yeah. And he was like, you make a lot of bread.
We were like, no.
We were like, no.
Not yet.
We don't make a lot of bread yet.
Nope.
One day we'll make
like
a lot.
DoorDash said, we're making cabbage, which is nothing.
Yeah. So
but anyway.
Yeah, so we're growing though, and like I said, the hope of us making money is that way we can give more to the organizations and you can look in our bio, all of our organizations are there that we donate to, which is the whole point of this business.
Yeah.
So we know that our goal, we're gonna be able to help out, and we're doing this to help. And so that's kind of our story on how we funded our business and kind of maybe some ideas for you to consider for how to, start off, kind of some things that'll help, finding a mentor, things like that.
Yeah.
But we're just going to end it here. So thanks, guys. Like she said in the beginning, like, subscribe, let us know any questions you might have. And funding your business out.